have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe enough. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Oh, I was frozen there for a second. Hey, we're back. YHS, Monster Island, Jay Key, Jacob Walsh. Jay, what's up, dude?
Not a lot. Well, actually, a lot. It's
a lot. We have a lot to talk about.
We do. It's convention season. We got some cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm watching some cool stuff. It's gonna be one of those weeks. It's gonna be a little like hodgepodge. We're gonna touch on news, and we have a special announcement, and we have some obviously to talk about a movie, and we're gonna have some pickups, and it just feels like we're gonna touch all of the YHS on Monster Island classic aspects and elements here tonight.
We're gonna touch everywhere tonight. That's what. Yeah, dude, we're back. I know it's been a couple weeks, but it's always been a couple weeks. We had to push the episode a week for important business, honestly.
It's my fault. It was my fault. I was really excited to chat with you, and then the morning of last Wednesday.
Yeah.
I got notified I got some free tickets to the Ultraman Rising screening in Dallas at the Angelica Theater, and that was really cool. It was for Netflix and some local people and influencers, and there was a really cool thing. And the whole front half of the theater was like a local Dallas County rec center. They brought all these kids in that were of age for Ultraman Rising, and then it was the Netflix employees and marketers and everything in the back, and it was really cool to be able to do that and see it, a day or so before it hit Netflix. And it was a cool experience to see it in the theater, since there weren't very many of these screenings across the country. So I felt it was a good reason to push this back and do the back half of my little parody double feature. The first one with Ryan, Monster Seafood Wars, and now this one, the big one, Death Kappa with you.
Death Kappa. Yep. Yeah, it worked out. I'm a little jealous you got to see Ultraman Rising in the theater. I have not seen the movie yet. I know it's on Netflix, but I just have not had the time to get it in yet. But yeah, we'll probably talk about it maybe the next episode. I'm sure we'll do
I think that'd be great.
A review, and yeah.
I'll say this about it without spoiling anything: is it was unexpected. Some of the things about it were totally unexpected for me going in, and we talked about we weren't oh my gosh, we can't wait for this to come out because of who the target audience was and stuff. But there's some unexpected stuff. Is it good unexpected, or is it bad? You'll have to wait and find out.
I guess I'm gonna have to watch this movie. I'm excited to. I just haven't. It's there's a new Star Wars show. There's House of the Dragons back on. It's not very good, but it's on. It's just there's a lot of shit happening at the same time, and I'm gonna watch it this week. Well, how do you want to do this then? Do you want to do your announcement first? Do you want to do pickups first? What do you want to do here?
Let's do some pickups, and then we'll do the news, and I'll close out the news section with a cool special announcement, a YHS on Monster Island, exclusive reveal, and we want to beat the news before it gets out there on the information superhighway tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we'll do that. Well, then let's do some pickups, Jay.
We got Kaiju pickups. Oh, what a glorious day. Oh, Kaiju pickups with our hosts Jacob and Jay.
Rock on! Yes! I actually have a couple really cool ones. I'm really excited about these, and they are a little bit across the spectrum, but they're all wacky. They're all very wacky. And I think that's the through line for all of my pickups this week, which, I love wacky stuff. So let's start with this one. This one is Sofubi, not Kaiju. Well, it could be Kaijin. There's some mystery around this, but the great toy designer Joseph Harmon, he's really known. Like the other piece I have of his is the Dino Bites, the kind of like clunky robot looking dinosaur where you take the chest off and it has like gears and innards and stuff. And he's done a ton of colorways. It's really cool. Well, one of his other signature pieces is this crazy person thing called Warp Zone Ed. And they have a lot of really cool colorways. But they had one that they released for Monsterpalooza, and they had some extras. So I was like, I want one. And so I got it. So here's the glow in the dark. I'm not sorry, not glow, like the UV reactive, just wacky, crazy Warp Zone Ed. Look at this guy. There he is.
Wow.
Look at this guy. He's like a monster thing. I don't know. He has a Nintendo Power Glove on. He's like retro. He's like a retro futuristic, like what the 80s thought the future would look like, but it still has that nice post-apocalyptic vibe because this is the near future state where he's like, I don't know. He's just awesome. He's like, I don't know what he is, but Ed is just amazing.
Yeah, good colors. Looks like Sherbert.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it is very, very neon when it's actually in person on the shelf. It's very cool.
That's awesome.
I love this one. But they have a ton of colorways on this. The next thing I got, and I got 4 things. The next thing I got, well, if one thing that people have learned about us and about me specifically on the show, it's I love me some Gilala. And I have some Marmots. I have a ton of Marasans. I got other things. But there's one Gilala I didn't have. I never got an M1 Gilala. I didn't have an M1. And I love the M1 sculpt. The Marasan one is like more stylized and kind of they did their own thing with it. The Marmot is more kind of screen accurate. It kind of looks like he does on screen and that, but still Marmoty. The M1 is like the blend of both. To me, it might be the best of the sculpts. I'm not saying it's my favorite figure for Gilala, but from just a sculpt standpoint. So I was able to snag this in a Facebook group. They were selling it for a very great price. This awesome Gilala.
Yeah,
M1 Gilala there. Yeah, so it's not as it's not as like that weird shape that the actual suit has that Marmot really captured so well. But it has like that Safubi element because it keeps that Safubi element to it. It's still the softer edges. The colorway is really cool. This kind of seafoam vinyl, and then you have the electric teal looking spray here. I don't know. I just absolutely love this guy. And
I love his pink
good.
nails.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at those.
It's fancy.
Clawed to death by some like electric magenta nails. That's the way to go. But I was excited to put him in the Gilala cube, which is just down below me here. And so I have it's jam packed. I had to actually move poor Takemajin out. I got the Marmot Takemajin. I had to move him out to my miscellaneous Kaiju and Kaijin and Seijin shelf because that's all Gilala. If you ain't Gilala, you're not in the.
You gotta get out.
So the next 2 things they're multiples. They're sets, so to speak.
Okay.
One officially, one totally unofficially. But this is a cool pickup. I love this piece. We talked about it on the show when they announced it. It comes in 3. So from our buddies over at Saru Jirushi, from Hobby Round 30, they released this amazing trio of wacky racers. I got my Hedera. The wheels actually move. These things roll. Look at him there. He's great. It's about 4.5, 5 inches.
Bigger than I thought they were.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. Then we have this train, the Godzilla and the Choo-Choo. Look at him just waving, like, "Hey guys, bye."
That's awesome.
The Choo-Choo train. But my favorite, it just makes sense. I think because one of the dudes in Godzilla versus Megalon had kind of like his like sports car race car guy. I love this jet in the vintage racer. This is my favorite of the lot. I think it just works. It fits. He should only be featured moving forward until he's in this type of car.
In race cars.
I know, but
man, those are so cool. Jealous of that.
The set looks so good together. I do, like we mentioned before, I hope they do come out with some other vehicles in Kaiju, not just new colorways. New colorways would be great. Don't get me wrong. But like being able to see other
Yeah.
kaiju in different types of
I want 'em
cars
all.
would be in different vehicles. Like, when a Rodan in a go-kart or whatever it might
Yeah.
be, like it would be really really cool.
Mhm.
The next two things I got are super special, and they are truly one of a kind. So for all of those Daikaiju dads out there and fathers and everything that had a Father's Day, happy belated Father's Day to you all. I know it's hard to manage buying lots of kaiju stuff and being a dad, being a good dad. But my kids rewarded me. They know I like colors and they know I like Godzilla. So they went in the garage, found some old Godzilla toys, and my 3 and 5-year-old painted me up some custom Godzillas in pure Safubi.
Wow.
Oh,
They ruined your NECAs.
No, these were the. I don't know if these were the. Like,
those are
Jacks.
those are the new ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We have a.
Well,
big,
that's the evolved Godzilla, I think. Because he's got the spines on his elbows.
Yeah, I thought at first I was like, we have like a bin in our garage of like Playmates Godzillas and kind of like the US toys that's just a bin that the kids play in the dirt, play outside with and stuff. So I thought there was those, but no, they went and bought these and then painted them up. This is from my daughter. Like she's celebrating Pride Month.
Oh, I like the rainbow tail.
Yeah, awesome, cool stuff here. And then the 3-year-old who doesn't love painting and art, his a little bit more abstract, but still very cool. So maybe one day they'll grow up and these two colorways can.
This would be all right, Mondo.
I know, like this is the next one, guys, right here. Look at this. But hey, they're awesome, and they're my new favorite piece. I think I'm gonna put them with my X Plus up there.
Yeah.
I think they'll look really good up there.
I think so.
But anyway, those are my favorite. I love the Saru Jirushis.
Yeah.
But a Finley and Jackson exclusive, original, 1 of 1 and 1 of 1. So
1 of 1. You didn't even have to play the lottery.
Didn't even have to play a lottery. No, I got it for free, and it was for free. All I had to do was be their dad. So really cool stuff. So my pickups all very wacky. Warp Zone Ed, Gilala, some wacky racers, and of course
that's pretty cool, man.
My 2 custom pieces. How about you, man?
Did good stuff, man. I got a couple little things, nothing crazy, but I was in California last week or maybe the week before, I don't know.
1 week.
I was out there in LA and on the last our flight home wasn't leaving until very late. It was like a 10 o'clock flight. So we had nothing to do on Sunday, and we found out in Burbank there was a toy show. So we met up with Trevor from NECA and went to a toy show in Burbank. And surprisingly, there was a good bit of Godzilla stuff there. There were,
that's awesome.
Usually you don't see much at toy shows that aren't kaiju specific, but there was like a good bit of Godzilla stuff here and there. Some stuff I'd never seen, some stuff you see all the time, but just all kinds of junk. But Last Bastion Studios was there. He was there with some stuff. Had those big turtles, which I really wanted to buy, but it was like last day of the trip. I didn't want to spend the money, and then it's like I got to bring it home. But I picked up his little Ultraman, and we talked about
the chibis.
We talked about these on the show a couple months ago, I think, and almost grabbed all 3, but it was just like I got to keep it light here, so just got one. Had to get the Ultraman. This thing's cool.
Dude, you have to join the Ragnar squad eventually. They're really impressive. I have 2 in this cube right over here.
Yeah,
there we go. There it is. That one. I have 2 in there.
Okay,
they're great. One of them, it was painted by Chris or Wes. I can't remember. And then one was painted by Octeal. They're really great.
I mean, seeing them in person was cool. Just seeing he had a bunch of them.
They're big. They're big.
They are.
Yeah,
they're impressive. The other thing I grabbed, which I also got this at the same convention, I got this book here, this Godzilla book, and now I can't read any of this, but it is fully illustrated and it has every single Godzilla kaiju in it, and it's illustrated by Shinji, what
Nishikawa.
is his? Yeah, Nishikawa.
Yeah,
And I've always loved his art. So
he's awesome.
But it's like, it's got each page will have like kind of a more traditional drawing, and then it's got a bunch of like cartoony versions, and it's it's literally every single version of Godzilla, every kaiju he's ever fought is in here, all the way up to like look at this. These like
that's so good.
These Biollante. But I mean, this goes all the way up to Singular Point. It's got Shin Godzilla in it. It's got the anime Godzillas. The only thing it doesn't have is -1 in it. But it also has this great, like, it's got like
nice.
Some human characters and stuff. Look at the Dorats, dude.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, Nishikawa's the best, man.
Yeah.
If you ever have a chance to pick up a Nishikawa or a Yuji Kaida art book, you just do it.
Yeah. And it's just great, dude. It's just got it's got the giant condor in it. It's just everything. So, really happy with this guy. Pick that up.
That's awesome, dude.
I got a couple other things that I also got that were kind of leftovers from what was that big convention that happened that we should start going to? Dude, I watched a video. I watched a walkthrough video of Monsterpalooza. I'd rather be going to that than Comic-Con. It looks so awesome. There's so many things there.
Well, it's good for you because it's like perfect because it's like it's a lot of kaiju and a lot of like designer toys and vinyl toys and Safubi, but it's also horror. I mean, it's the Monster Museum that I heard is really cool. Yeah, I've reached out. I would love to, if I do expand out and do another kind of road show with Kaiju-Go, or excuse me, with Tokyo Toy Town next year, as opposed to just G-Fest. I think the best convention for me would be
I think
Monsterpalooza, but we'll see. You never know. I would love to.
Well, do you know who Creature Bazaar is?
Yes. Oh yeah, they're based out in Southern California. They do their site is awesome. They do obviously a lot of their own stuff, but they run really cool events and stuff in Southern California and bring a lot of guests over. And they're a big time player in kind of the space. Yeah.
I've been watching these for a long time. I've tried to pick them up. They put them on their site from time to time, but they usually get snatched up pretty quickly.
Yeah, so quick.
They had them for sale at the convention, and luckily I was able to actually snagged 4 of them because they went for sale, and I bought like one of each. And then I was like, oh man, I just like later on that night, I jumped back on the website just to see what was still there. And these were still there. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy 2 more, but I bought these. They're not Safubi, they're not kaiju, but they're lanterns. These are the header cards that they came with, but they're just like, they're like yokai lanterns.
Oh yeah.
And
it's perfect for the topic tonight. I mean, we're talking yokai later.
Exactly. So. But I thought I love the look of these. They post them all the time on their website. I just think they're so cool, and I've been wanting to pick them up. So I picked up 4, and I got 2 hung at work, and I'm gonna hang 2 here at the house. They do have like lights and everything inside. They're just cool, man. I love the look of these things, and it's kind of adjacent to our topic.
Oh, 100%.
What we usually talk about, but. Yeah, those are my pickups, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, Creature Bazaar is great. Those are really cool pickups.
They're cool.
I mean, a yokai lantern and a Nishikawa book. I mean, that's hard to beat. No, they do good stuff. And if guys don't already know, like, go sign up to their list and everything to get their passwords to like go to the password.
That's what I did to get those.
Yeah, they do some really cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Big fans.
Well, listen, we'll talk about some news. You got some toy news and some movie news, and
a little bit of movie news, or really just kind of one bit. But it's
everybody know. I think it's a little old at this point.
Yeah, it's not breaking news. Yeah, because I don't have. I'm curious your opinions because I don't necessarily have any. So on this at least. So the 2 episodes ago we talked about Adam Wingard stepping down from the MonsterVerse as the director. He did the last two. And since then, Godzilla X Kong has become the highest grossing of the MonsterVerse films. It was close, but it does pass Skull Island, which is crazy. So his two Godzilla and Kong films are, just wild successes from a financial standpoint. So great. But he steps down, and there was a very short time period of there was no director. And then they announced about last week, I think, that now is it Spittori or is it Spitor? How do you know how to say his last name?
No clue. I've never heard of this man until this.
Yeah. And so, I same, not surprisingly, but they not only announced him, and his most, famous, successful work was a somewhat recent sci-fi film on Netflix called I Am Mother that did really well at Sundance, and they got picked up by Netflix. But they also announced that Dave Callahan from Shang-Chi and the Expendable Spider-Man, I think he did one of the Zombielands, he's going to be tapped to write the script. Mm-hmm. But he also did Wonder Woman 1984, so I had to throw that out there because that's scary.
Which is abysmal, yeah.
Which is one of the worst movies, modern movies of all time. So yeah, I was curious your thoughts. I didn't know if you had thoughts on any of his work.
Well, or this is kind of head scratching to me because, I don't know this dude. I've never heard of this movie. Mm-hmm. It's from 2019 is somewhat recent, but that's 5 years. So it's it seems a little weird to give listen, I know all of the other 3 guys who directed kaiju films were fairly new, but all 3 of those guys made big movies that did really well before they were given. I don't know anything about this guy. I haven't heard of this movie. I've never seen anybody talk about it. That doesn't mean it's not good or didn't do well. I've never heard of it, but it does seem a little weird. It's like, we'll just hand over the MonsterVerse. It's, we're 6 movies deep at this point, or is it 6? Yeah. And I don't know. It seems like a strange choice to give it to a completely unknown, but also
maybe
it doesn't bother. It doesn't. I'm not trying to say that in a disparaging way towards him. It's just seems like an odd choice.
Yeah, I am not one to I follow this director stuff. I get everything by this director. I love that. So I'm not as tied to it as a lot of people are, and that's great if you are. So the announcement wasn't going to really sway me either way. To me, it's the MonsterVerse is kind of, who knows? It's really it can kind of do any type of tone and genre now because it's done it all already. And with Monarch coming back, that adds another element. So it didn't bother me one way or another, but I was a little shocked with I was like, okay, well, I probably know something he's done. And I was like, no, I have no idea. I mean, it's a complete, it's never heard of it. I'd never even heard of I Am Mother, somebody talking about it, like you said, or
I'm going to look
at cross-reference and something. So I don't have an opinion, and I think that's okay. So I can't say I just see some tendencies in his.
It is an Australian film.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that.
So maybe some Mad Max vibes.
Let's see who's in. Hilary Swank is in it,
and Rose Byrne and somebody else was in it too. It had a pretty big cast.
Huh.
And it's supposed to be cyberpunk, and post-apocalyptic. And hey, I have no problem putting in some of the tropes and themes that are in those subgenres into the MonsterVerse. Cool. To me, it's just. Okay, we'll see. I'm
it's up for the ride. Yeah. I've seen 2, whatever. The movies have gotten so insane at this point. It's I don't care. Let Jackson direct it. Your son. It will be just as good.
He's doing art direction already. Come on. But no, it's one of those. It's I don't care because I have no expectations, good or bad, going into it. Because it's almost fun to what are they going to do next? Is it going to go? Is it going to tonally shift? Is it going to just be more wacky, crazy? Who cares? It's all going to be.
I agree.
Fun. So
I agree. I have some. I have hopes and dreams, but no expectations.
You know what's interesting? I read through a lot of articles about him, and it did not mention anywhere his background, like his personal background of love for like the kaiju genre or anything about Godzilla and monsters. So I'm curious to see if this is going to be, does he have this like personal love letter he wants to write to Godzilla, the Godzilla fandom, and we get a little bit more like King of the Monsters? Does he like, no, I'm a fan only of the MonsterVerse, so it's going to be more of that,
Right.
or it's like, no, I see that this franchise could go in a different direction. Like I don't even know. I have no clue which way it's going to go. So I don't know. Makes it more fun.
As long as he brings back kaiju subtitles and Godzilla and Kong talk to each other in this one.
Yes, I think that's word bubbles.
That's
are
what we're
great.
missing. Yeah,
We're missing that. We're missing that. And hopefully Jet Jaguar.
That'd be great.
So that was the only other kind of like non-toy news, and really there wasn't a ton of toy news, but there were a few that I think were pretty cool. And speaking of cool, I know over the time we've cooled a little bit on X Plus, and it's not because of they haven't released really cool stuff. It's just, space, and we've been more focused on Safubi and stuff. But I do want to give X Plus a little bit of love, because over the last week they've released some really cool stuff, and four items in particular that I wanted to highlight here. So let's get excited. Orthochromatic light up Shin Godzilla. Now, this is 30 centimeter series. This is the Yuji Sakai sculpting collection. And this one right here is going to be a Godzilla Store Japan exclusive. You can still get it through buy and everything like that. It's still accessible. It's up for pre-order right now. But this is 17 inches tall. This thing lights up from the inside. It has, and I'm not always a huge fan of the black and white, but I think it's kind of cool here with the light shining through and kind of lighting up the innards of it. And Shin always looks really cool no matter what, and X Plus just does it so well. I thought this was a really cool, unique, orthochromatic version of anything that X Plus has done, and one of my favorites of those. So I thought this was really cool, and price to move, as they say.
It looks like an optical illusion with the black and white and the lights coming out of it, like an X-ray or something. I think it's a great toy.
Yeah, and the Yuji Sakai knows a thing or two about sculpting, and his shins are always
he's got good shins.
Speaking of good shins, another Yuji Sakai. So this was a light up version with the red vinyl there to really shine through. Also 17 inches tall, a little bit cheaper. This one you're going to be able to get on the Shonen Rick North America site. So the US Shonen Rick site, you'll be able to pick this up and get it shipped directly to you around the same price, a little bit cheaper there. But this is another light up Shin from Yuji Sakai from X Plus that's 17 inches tall. That's going to be available in, the fall of this year. So people go out there, buy these. They're awesome. They look really cool. Have these two together next to each other.
That would look great. Yeah. That would look really great. Yeah, I love this one. This is a might buy in my book.
Yeah. Well, you have some time. The pre-order's up right now on the Shonen Rick site, and you don't have to use any of the other services. Just get it.
You can just buy it
to Jacob Walsh.
Yeah.
So X Plus is like, I know you like these Yuji Sakais. I know that, and I'm going to re-release them and do some changes on them and stuff. Well, they also took it to heart, and they're re-releasing, but with a different paint app. Something I know you're going to like. Right here, the night color version, the Defo 89 and Bylante said, I know you have these guys, but this is the light up night color version that's up now on the Shonen Rick North America site. It's about $180 for the pair. These are classic Defo reels. It comes with the snap.
At all.
No, not at all. And these are, the Bylante is one of the best Defo reels they have. I don't think anybody would deny that. And then everybody loves 89. So I know I do. So if you need these, you missed out on them the first time. I think this is cool, and comes with a nice little light up feature and the corrosive sap add-ons.
Yeah, those are awesome. I actually never got the Godzilla.
Oh, well, now
I do have
sell your 89.
I do have the Bylante, but I don't have the Godzilla. So
you get it, sell your Bylante, and you're paid for it.
Yeah, all good.
But these are up now too. So you can go to the Shonen Rick site, get that red Shin light up, and then go back and get this. And it's amazing. The last thing I absolutely hate with a passion because it's so good. It's so amazing that it might just break my will when it comes to collecting Star Ace, X Plus, Ray Harryhausen.
Oh.
And this is the Hydra.
Yes.
The Hydra from Jason of the Argonauts. Both a standard and a deluxe, but the deluxe is a must-have because it comes with Jason. And this is already up for pre-order at staracetoys.com. I think it's staracetoys.com. And then, of course, the other retailers are going to have it. The usual suspects that carry a lot of Star Ace. We've talked about all the Harryhausen creatures and how good these have been. I mean, you own a lot of them.
Yeah.
And we've talked about if they do a really good Hydra in the same way they did the Kraken, right? This big scale. And this is 16 inches long, 13 inches tall, or the other way around. This looks amazing. Some of the I encourage everybody to go look up these images online and the close-ups, the official images from Star Ace on the faces and the heads of the Hydra. Oh my gosh, so good. It's amazing. I don't know if I can hold out anymore. This might be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah, dude, the price is so high, which
it's so high
bugs me.
I thought it'd be like $350
because so out of all the ones I've bought so far, the Kraken was the most expensive, it broke the $500 barrier, but I don't remember if it was this much or more than this.
Yeah.
I feel like this might be more than what the Kraken cost. And I want it so badly, but that is such a high price. So I don't know. I'm gonna fight back and forth, but it will look good with the others that I own. You know what I mean? So like I kind of need it.
I mean, could you imagine a bookend of whether it's a long shelf or a wall or a room that's like, basically you have the Hydra, this giant Hydra over here, the Kraken over here, and then all your other ones kind of in between. I mean, it would be epic. And the good news is this is going to be a lot of the retailers that we know offer payment plans. I think Star Ace might even offer one on their side. I don't know.
Yeah, it will be on Sideshow.
It's
not already. It will be on Sideshow, which is where I've been. That's where I pick them up. Usually Sideshow or like Awesome Collector.
Awesome Collector, I think we'll have.
Yeah.
This was amazing, dude. I mean, X Plus and Star Ace, lumping them together. I think four really cool things here between the two Shins, the Defo set, and then now this Hydra. But the Harryhausen collection is not messing around.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. It's such a good collection.
I don't know where they go next because there's almost like they're. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, because the Medusa was one of the most requested, and then the Hydra. And, I don't know. It's insane. But anyway, well, moving on from X Plus. Hopefully, we gave X Plus some much deserved love. Let's talk a little Safubi, and I just want to pull up two wacky ones that are coming out. I think one we've talked about and alluded to, and the other one we talked about the first release, but they're doing a second colorway. So the first one, Marasan doing Kamada-kun, doing the second form Shin Godzilla. So Marasan's giving it the classic Marasan translucent vinyl, the red vinyl. And this is going to come out at their 6/22. So in a couple days, that pop-up. And it will be about 8 inches long, and it'll retail there for about $50. So, you're looking probably 80 to 100, probably in the secondary market.
Yeah.
Is my gut. And they're going to re-release this 1,000 times, but I don't know if it gets better than this red translucent. It looks
great.
So good. And
yeah, it looks like candy.
It does. It does. So your red Jolly Rancher Kamada-kun is going to be available. And I just love they kept it silly and fun, and like this could show up on Godzilla or Lit Goji or whatever. I'd be totally fine.
Yeah. I love that, dude.
And then the other one, and we've talked about these guys a few times, and that's Swimmy Lab. So our Swimmy Design Lab. So I always call it Swimmy Lab. Swimmy Design Lab. And they're doing their second release, their second lottery of their much loved Hedorah. So the first one that came out, like, it's a hard one to get nowadays because it was just everybody loved it. But they're returning. It's only a 3-day lottery. There's only 3 days it's open. July 14th through 17th. Go to swimmydesignlab.com/Sophie, SOFVI, for soft vinyl. And make sure on those 3 days you put your name in so you can win this. It's $125. Believe me, it's a lot more in the secondary market. But it's about 5.5 inches tall, and it is that unique, wacky Swimmy Design Lab style. And I mean, holding the boat and everything. This is just, it's weird and amazing. And I love this colorway.
Yeah, this thing is, I mean, it's so unique that it almost doesn't look like Hedorah anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the way they have it set up to where the
Like his
two
cousin.
eyes are different colors. It looks like two different creatures poking their heads out of something else. It's
Two little
very
Cyclops
weird.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange looking. I love it.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's really striking. So guys, get ready for that. The Header of the Lottery exclusive is coming out in less than a month, man. So, hey, so everybody that's at G-Fest during this time, don't forget, don't get so drunk or so whatever that you forget to register the lottery at when you're at G-Fest, because this is super important.
No, let them lose.
Oh yeah, let them do it. Sorry, do forget. So Jake, that's all great. X Plus, Marson, everybody, you're wonderful.
Yeah,
but we got a special reveal. We're coming here. It's gonna be here first. We're doing it for the people that love kaiju toys. They love Sofubi, but most importantly, they love Max Toy Company, and they might be attending Kaiju-Go because we got an event exclusive toy news. This is a special reveal. We are so excited. A little bit of background, a little bit of tease here. This is from Max Toy, and these two colorways were designed by Mark and Max. So we have a little bit of both in here. Are you ready for this, my friend?
I'm ready.
We got official Kaiju-Go exclusive from Max Toy Company and officially licensed by Subaraya Productions. Yango and Pestar are coming to Kaiju-Go. These bad boys are absolutely gorgeous. We love Kaiju-Go because it represents all of us weirdos in Dallas-Fort Worth that love this kaiju stuff, love Sofubi. And what two kaiju better represent wackiness than the space rascal himself, Yango, and of course that oil guzzling wackadoo Pestar. And these things are going to be molded in a translucent purple vinyl with a pink and silver paint application. They are absolutely gorgeous. They're going to be $58 a piece, so it's affordable. And we're only going to have 25 of these each. So there's 25 Gangos. There's 25 Pestars. They're going to be at Kaiju-Go. They're going to be the Toku Toy Town booth. A couple of the pictures. Look at this guy. Look at these guys. Look at them just having fun.
God, those look good, dude.
Yeah, they're just loving their photo shoot here. They're just frolicking about. They love each other. They're buddies. But I can show you a little bit more of a close-up here because here I got the official prototype here. Here he is. Gango himself. Now, one thing that's really cool about him and Pestar from Max Toy is, if you look back over Max Toy's releases, especially the ones in the US, you don't see too many Pestars and Gangos. Now, they have been popping up more on some of the Japanese festivals, but these are not common Max Toy kaiju. That
these are rare boys.
And so I'm really excited that we're going to be able to offer two of his best sculpts. His Gango is so good.
It's wonderful, yeah.
And then this Pestar, look at that face. I mean, he's just such an ugly doofus. And I absolutely love him so much. But two of the most iconic for being weird, Ultraman 66 Kaiju. You're going to have a chance to take two of these home. And this is a Kaiju-Go exclusive, our first event exclusive from the Sofubi realm. We're super excited. And, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, hell, if you're not, make sure to go to kaijugo.com, buy your tickets because they're selling out. VIP sold out.
Yeah.
Ultraman 66 screening, the Q&A with Mark and Max sold out. But you can still catch those two Godzilla features. You have a chance to buy these at Kaiju-Go. And there's a lot of other really cool event exclusives already that have been announced. One of our great indie toy, vinyl toys, Safubi vendors, Plagued Earth is doing one of his Moon Kings. He's doing a battle-worn Moon King exclusive. I think there's only going to be a handful of those. Max Nagata has already announced his exclusive print for Kaiju-Go of one of kind of the Kaiju-Go mascot done in Max's style, standing over, about to crush the Texas Theater. That's going to be an exclusive. So there's going to be more to be announced as well. But I mean, honestly, I don't know, from a toy collectors like us, I just don't know if it gets any better than that. So
those are great, man. 25 a piece. That's a big deal. Those things are gonna. I hope I'm able to score one.
I think you have an inside track, but you never know.
I think I'll be good, but yeah.
These are going to be there. So
let's say only 24 produced per.
Yes, 24. So. We might have built in the buffer.
Built in a couple, yeah.
This is huge for Kaiju-Go because it's G-Fest, Superfest, WonderCon, Hobbyron. They all have event exclusives, and this is our first from a big time Safubi maker like Max Toy Co. and officially licensed by Subaraya. So it's going to be there, and we are super, super pumped.
Yeah, got to be there. Everybody needs to come out for that and check it out. It's going to be a good event. I'm super.
And Jake's going to be there.
I'm going to be there, guys. Yeah. Come on out. Well, Jay, that's it for news and pickups, and I guess we can move on to this really weird fucking movie we watched.
We can't. You know why?
We have more?
Because we got to make sure our listeners who might be kaiju heavy, who are like, I know kaiju, I might know some aliens, but they might not know yokai. Yeah. So we need to introduce them to Kappa.
Okay.
What is a Kappa? What is a Kappa? We're going to go English here. We're going to go anglicize. We're going to go Kappa. So I have for you, not for you, you know these, but I have
Did
for
you
you
put a chart together or something?
I didn't put a chart. I put the top 10 things you need to know about Kappa. Now, this is not Death Kappa. This is just Kappa.
Kappa.
From Japanese folklore.
Yeah.
These aquatic, reptile, humanoid, mischievous, yokai that are out there. So
they are out there, by the way.
They are out there. So
one knocked on my door earlier.
What if it was dressed in a creepy Kappa outfit? That would be a good like slasher movie. A dude that's just like dressed like a Kappa.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be called Death Kappa. Then we have for number 10, the 10th most important thing you should know about Kappa is Kappa loves sumo wrestling. Did you know that? You probably know that watching this film.
I knew that because of this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing, the number 9 thing. The 9th most important thing you should know that you don't really see in this film, so this is a little bit kind of extra credit, is Kappa hate cows and horses. I don't know why. They don't like them, though. Why is that?
Maybe, I think maybe it's because Kappa are little guys. They're little dudes. They're fragile.
Yeah.
Cows and horses are big, and they get spooked easy, and they step on turtles a lot.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Makes sense. Number 9. Now, this one is a tough one. It might need a visual, but Kappa, number 8, excuse me, they have attached arms in their shell. So you think of it, their arm is actually just one long piece. So if they move this one over through their shell, this one goes like that. Now we don't see that.
What?
Yeah, so we don't. It is the original yokai. Now this movie we don't see that, but yes, they have that. So like it's almost, think of it as one long kind of rod that their arms are attached, their forearms are attached to. So pretty amazing. It adds to these weirdos. Now it gets even weirder. Number 7, and this is one that is integral to the film, and that's if the dish and on their head is dry, they can stop moving and they can potentially die. So you got to keep that dish, that kind of
usually it's a bowl with water in it. In this movie, it's more of just a dry dish.
Yeah,
but like most of the time they're depicted as like almost a little bowl in their head with a little puddle of water inside of it.
Yeah. Okay. So the next 6, we get real weird here. So everybody, like, this is not for children. But the first one is Kappa like to look up women's kimonos. They are sleazy little guys. Yes, they are creepy dudes. Oh, and it gets it gets weirder. But yeah, so they are not like Kappa did not live during the Me Too movement. So they would be all canceled. So number
Cancel
5,
the Kappa.
cancel the hashtag cancel the Kappa. Yeah. Okay, this is a weird one. Their favorite foods. We know one is cucumbers, but their other one, they love human innards, particularly human anuses. They love eating anuses.
Yep.
We don't see that as much in this film, but cucumbers, very, very,
a lot of
very
cucumbers
important.
in this movie.
A lot of cucumbers.
You're like, oh, what are their favorite foods? Well, their favorite food is a cucumber, and you're like, oh, that's so cute and innocent, and intestines and assholes.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Number 4, just so you make sure you don't get your anus eaten by a Kappa, you can try to best them or outwit them in a game, and they become loyal to you for life. Mm-hmm. So that is one thing that you want to make sure that you do, and they become extremely loyal. Loyalty is something that we definitely see in Death Kappa. Now, number 3 goes back to the creeps. Now, this takes it a little bit further. When women are kind of swimming around in a lake or a river where these guys are, a really evil one might kidnap and kill swimming women. They also do some other things I didn't even feel comfortable typing on here, but you can fill in the blanks. They are not. Yeah, they are. So number 2, going back to the anus theme, when they kill their victims, they either drown them and will bite their throat when they're drowning them, or they'll eat them alive going through the anus.
Yeah.
So they'll eat
anus
the
first.
Anus first. There is a special muscle or something, I forget, there is a Japanese name for it, that they believe is right inside the anus. That's why they love it so much. That's the delicacy part of it. But number one, this is, I think, the most important thing to know about Kappa, and oddly enough, not mentioned in this film. Big miss. Would have fit in. And that is, number 1, they have 3 anuses, so they can pass more gas. They love passing gas in public, and so they love having 3, and they will constantly go into open areas with humans and just pass gas and get out of the dodge. And so, yes, so they're really weird and unusual and creepy creatures that blur the line between mischievous and just downright predator. So that is the basis. That is the basis for this kaiju, is the yokai Kappa that does lots of things with butts.
It's also weird, kind of starting to get into the plot of the movie. It's weird that the Kappa in this movie is, he loses his cool at one point and maybe kills a couple thousands of people. But other than that, he's the good guy. The Kappa is the good guy. And traditionally, Kappa are not good guys ever. They're scary. They're horrifying. They eat people. They do other things. Even though they could be cute and they look cool, they're not usually shown as like,
they're not your ally. They're not going to be the hero's ally.
Yeah, exactly. That's why in Ninja Turtles 3, when they go to feudal Japan, that's why everybody's so scared of the turtles, and they call them Kappa, because they think they're these ancient demons that are going to eat their assholes. So, well, let's get into this movie, Jay.
Yeah. Well, real quick before we leave that, I mean, you see it in Ultra 7. He fights Kappa. It's using kaiju there. Yeah. Let's get into it. This is 2010's Death Kappa. So I don't know where you wanted to start. Just initial thoughts? Or?
Yeah, well, now I've seen this movie before. I remember I bought like a bootleg copy of it a long time ago when it first came out from like a convention. Instantly drawn in because I do love Kappa, and I thought that the Kappa in this film looks great. He looks very good. The suit is the best part of the movie, honestly, is the creatures. This movie's weird. It's very silly. It's all over the place. It feels like 3 different movies sandwiched together, but it is fun. It is a fun movie. It's got some cool, weird effects in it. It's I don't really know how to rank it, because like, I don't think I'd call it a good movie, Jay.
Well, what's your overall take on? It doesn't have to be kaiju, but like just parody films in general. Are you pro parody?
It depends, dude. It just depends. Like, it's such a hard. I think parody is such a hard thing.
Mhm.
Sometimes they come. Sometimes they're very funny, and sometimes they're just not. So
Yeah.
it's hard. It's
I
hard
agree.
for me to.
I view like all the kaiju parody movies and really any parody movie or parody anything like on its own little spectrum, because and I talked about this with Ryan when we were talking about Monster Seafood Wars, is you have to know that it comes from a good place, like an appreciation of the genre, but you also have to know that it's a parody, because I think when they try to like when they're not too overtly parodying it, then like I think sometimes it can fall flat. But funny has to be funny, so it's okay to like make fun of it. But like, if your jokes fall flat, they fall flat. So I always have my spectrum of parodies in the kaiju genre where it's like it's low budget. That they're sometimes that you don't know if they're actually being a parody or just they're trying to do the best they can with a low budget. And that's like Rego and Raiga and those guys. Right. And I think things like Monster Seafood Wars and Monster X Strikes Back at the G8 Summit, like I think like there is no doubt in my mind that they're trying to be a parody. It comes from a good place. Yes. They know the genre, and it just comes down to a matter of did the jokes or the wink at the cameras or this is so silly that they've done this for 50 years in the kaiju genre, did those land? Did they work? Right. Mm-hmm. And I think for Monster X, I think a lot of them did. I think for Monster Seafood Wars, enough of them did where it's kind of still a pretty good parody, a fun one. Whereas Rego, Raiga, all them, I think no, it's bad, just bad. So this one I think actually is right there with Monster X with me as my favorite kaiju parody. Okay. Because I think within that realm, I do know it's a joke, and I think more of the jokes are funny and land with me than not, and that makes it. I think that gives it off that it's a fun movie, because I think it knows what it is. I really think it knows what it is, and it's doing that in a funny way.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think the jokes are kind of half and half for me. Yeah. But when the jokes fall flat, it doesn't bother me as much because so much of it is fun to look at. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think the Kappa design is the costume looks so good. And hey, you can pull him up.
Yeah, but for the people that might not know what he looks like here, there he is. Yeah. There he is.
He just looks so good, and there's a lot of design choices on him that I really like. Mm-hmm. And also, like, I will watch that Kappa dance to her song in the garden. I think that part of the movie is so fun. Whenever the song stops and he like freezes and he won't move until you put the song back on, that to me is it's like that is so funny that I don't care what else happens in the movie.
Well, I think that song part, like that to me is like a perfect example of something that lands, because it's like she is this Kaneko, who's the lead actress in this, the lead character.
She's great.
She's great.
Attractive.
I mean, she's like looks the part of a former, like a failed idol, and then like you're like okay, and then one of the best jokes in it is that her song, and so I had to pull up the lyrics. I want to give you a reading here of her famous song that the Death Kappa dances to, "Tonight with You Tonight," which like the title alone, like this is one of like I have like 5 or 6 things that worked and 3 or 4 things that I think didn't work. This is one that worked. Okay. But this lyrics, I mean, you need to cover this song. Like you need to cover this song. I had a dream last night, a melody. Someday we'll be together, you and me. I'm wearing panties again today. The stars above are all lucky, happy. I'm going to end up putting our secret inside a treasure chest. I'll promise I'll bleed with a smile on my face near the seashore. And so tonight, with you tonight, I'm sure tomorrow will be tomorrow. The blue sky, such a blue sky. Let's have some tea. Coffee times, lucky, happy. Over the rainbow, it's fancy. We're always together, you and me. It's so tender inside, softly. The moon above us is just so lucky, happy. You're so wonderful. I give you presents yesterday and tomorrow. So please have some of this sweet, lovely candy this evening, tonight, with you tonight. I'll change my hairstyle, a permanent. The blue sky, such a blue sky. Everlasting love is lucky. Happy. That is genius.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's poetry.
I know. I mean, that right there is one of the things I think when I was like, okay, failed idol, kind of intriguing. And then they give the song. And then, of course, it's important to this because it's what he dances to.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is the lyrics are so dumb. I'm like, this is amazing. So that I really like.
Hey, did you watch this dubbed or subtitled?
So I'd only ever seen it subtitled, but for this one on Tubi, they had the English dub, and I watched it for the first time, and I thought it was super funny.
That's what I watched. My only issue with it, though, and I didn't even realize it until towards later in the movie, is the sound effects are all off.
Oh, really?
And the only reason I know that is because whenever the like generals walk into the room and he's like hitting the whip with his hand, he's like doing this, and it's a delayed like sound. And then it happens again later on in the movie. Like one of the kaiju like does this, and then you hear it, and I'm like, oh, the sound's all kind of off, but it's like it doesn't matter because it's dubbed anyway, and none of those. Yeah. But
no. Maybe that was on purpose. That could be another.
It could have been. Hey, you know what I thought? You know what I thought was very funny? Whenever there's like the army of fish people.
Yeah, and, was it Umehiko, or do they call it?
Yeah, there's this like army of fish people, and the Kappa shows up, and there's this like sequence where the Kappa's like getting ready to fight them, and it kind of looks awesome, and they're all circling around. But then they start fighting, and it's as if they didn't choreograph anything, and it's like they're just doing. They look like they're about to fight, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be. They're gonna do kind of like an Ultraman fight, or this will be cool. But then the battle itself is awful, and it's like they're not. And
he does like a sumo bump and stuff,
and it's hard to tell if that was. I was like, is that on purpose? Does this look bad on purpose? But it comes across as funny.
That type of stuff. Like, I think a lot of the stuff, and we can talk about the cameos and the people that are involved. But like, to me, I think what worked really good, and you mentioned this a little bit, is it's anchored with really good monster design and kaiju design, because I think both Death Kappa and Hangylos are cool. Excellent.
Yep.
And I think that's what also is like important to, like, if I'm going to watch a kaiju parody, you can't just make a bad looking suit and say it's a kaiju parody. Like, I get the suit right.
Yeah.
Make it can be weird, but make it good and interesting, and then do the funny stuff around it. And so, Hangylos, I'm going to pull up a picture here of Hangylos for those that don't know. Like, I thought he looked awesome, and he is a kind of irradiated. He's an irradiated version of those, like the Umehiko, those fishmen. They all got kind of melded together.
He's got a good face too. Like, this photo doesn't show it off that well, but he's got a good looking face on him. Also, I like when his tail comes off.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's so I think they nailed that piece right. So like, then okay, I'm going to be interested to see what this dude does. The Kappa and Hangylos looks great. And I thought some of the like unexplained, stupid plot elements that just don't have any explanation, some of them worked. Like, I just think Kaneko getting blown up and then like randomly showing up at the end scene to save the day without any explanation whatsoever is the funniest thing in the whole movie. I think it's just so like, what? It's like very like Monty Python-esque.
Yeah.
It's just there, right?
And she's just... so that end is so funny. She's just got her like little ladle, and she's like pouring the water. She's like, "Hey, you need to chill out. Put some water on us."
She's 1 inch away from the bomb that irradiates Death Kappa into a giant, but survived. Right? You know, I mean, it's crazy. And I think some of the other things that they did, like how do they get a giant cucumber? The helicopter get a giant cucumber to give to him, and
it
doesn't need explanation.
The giant cucumbers. There's you know what? Here, some of the stuff that I think falls flat is like there's the couple at the beach, and they have like they put ketchup on a cucumber.
Yeah,
that whole scene, I was just like,
it went on along too.
Take this out. The acting is bad here. It's not funny.
Yeah,
and you know, there's just like a couple. I enjoyed the like. oh, this Kappa showed up and it really likes me. I guess I have to fucking take care of this Kappa now. And then I enjoy the Fishmen stuff and like they're gonna fight and all that. But the movie is weird in its like jumps from this to this to this.
Yeah.
And it's like it does feel like they weren't it does feel like they're just like, oh, who cares how we get there? We're just there.
Let's get
now.
there.
Yeah, just get there. So
I think another thing that fell flat to me on I think there was two. One was interesting. So remember when she's going back to her hometown and she sees like some of the shop owners and they're all these like weird mutated kind of like almost like
you like one guy's got a face on his face and then one guy they kind of never maybe they were supposed to be experiments or something and whoever made the Fishmen did that. I don't know. They don't explain any of it.
Because it's like okay, these are rural folk and it's not the big city, but that doesn't mean they're like mutants. I don't know. Like it was that was a weird thing. So I thought that one was like, because it was like I kind of wanted to know what was like what happened there. It felt kind of out of place. The other scene that I thought was like maybe it was one of those I could see like in the writing room, this is really funny and silly, and it just did not work on screen. Is when they're captured by the kind of the Japanese Nazi group or whatever, and she's held there. The evil lady and the dead grandpa thing. Like that to me fell flat.
Yeah,
but
in the wheel, it's like in a wheelchair, and it's like a paper mache mask.
But
what is this?
So those are the jokes that we typically see that in parodies. Like some of the jokes fall flat. But to me, it was like definitely the positives outweighed the negative, because like I loved all the bad special effects moments where it's clearly.
I thought they were but I thought they were cool. Like the whatever the effect is for the bomb, for the atomic bomb.
Oh, that was cool.
And then anytime, whenever the kaiju did his like fire breath, I thought I just thought it looked cool the way it like.
Those are great. I'm talking about the ones where they actually like they tried like they put like the little puppet on the thing like so you could see it. And they made it where you could see the shit. Those are so great.
Hey, you just reminded me of my favorite thing in the whole fucking movie. When the newsman gets caught on fire and it's like a puppet on a stick.
That's Shinji Higuchi, co-director of Shin Godzilla.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So so the two directors of Shin Godzilla, Higuchi, who is the news reporter that gets burned up, and then the guy slapping the cattle prod that gets shot 100 million times. Yeah, that's Hideaki Anno. That's
Anno. I knew Anno was in it, but that's so funny. But that scene where he dies. He gets caught on fire. They cut away and they cut back, and it's just like a man on a stick.
Yes,
and and it's just on fire, and he's yelling, "I'm melted." That part was great. That was my favorite part in the movie.
And that's one of the things that, like, when they're trying to make fun of the special effects, that's how you do it in a funny way.
Yeah.
Without because it's once again it's anchored by these awesome kaiju designs.
Yeah.
That are like
right. The suits are totally fine on it. The suits are legitimately better than most of the things in Ultraman.
100%, yeah, and that's what I like about it, and but yeah, and of course, like the endless, there's always going to be a news reporter dying, endless military garbage, like they nail all of those, and so I think they get more right, than wrong, but then like you had the Anno and Higuchi cameos, but then her grandma, that gets run over by the teens, that's Hiroko Sakurai from Ultraman, from Ultra Q and Ultraman.
Okay,
she's
in the
Fuji
very
and and then one of the military ladies is the female lead, the two that formed together to be Ultraman Ace. So I forgot her name, Mitsuko Hoshi. Okay. Anyway, but and they had another dude in there I didn't know from Kamen Rider, the Stronger. So I don't. One of the military guys was, but like they have all these cool kind of like cameos from legit people. But yeah, I guess because people know. Haraguchi and who directed it, Tomoo Haraguchi, from his Ultraman. So did you know the director was the modeler for the Gamera Heisei trilogy?
Oh,
so he had obviously had a lot of connections, a lot of stuff overlap there. And then it was written by the guy that co-writes a lot of stuff, a lot of parody stuff with Minoru Kawasaki, that does like he co-wrote like Monster Seafood Wars and Monster X Strikes Back. His name's escaping me. Mazukusa Magita, something like that. Anyway, so like Nikkatsu, the film company, like they got some guys that know parody, and then they got some stuff in it. I think that it adds some credibility to it in a weird way that, like, you have Hiroku Sakurai getting run over by, freaking Fuji getting run over by by some teens to open up the show. But I don't know. I think all of it's enjoyable. It's good, bad, but it's intentional bad. Yeah. Like, I think like that's what people like that hate it. I always ask people that absolutely hate it. I ask, do they like other parody stuff? Because a lot of people don't. Right. And the easiest thing to make fun of the kaiju genre and to parody is the wacky plots that just kind of unravel, or they have missing elements, and the low budget special effects. And so, I mean, you gotta poke fun at it. Yeah.
No, you're right. And I think that's the stuff. Like, the movie's all it lends to the silliness, and I ultimately that's fun. Like, we love Monster X and all that kind of shit. So it's like I remember, I don't remember when Death Kappa came out, but I've always kind of championed it, even though had only seen it once or twice before this viewing. But dude, whatever. I would watch more. I think there should be some more like that. I feel like the Kappa itself is so good that it's a shame they didn't use it more, or didn't make another movie, or even, I don't know, or recycle it and put it in something else. It's just it's too good of a suit, which is probably
I don't know
now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the suit was actually planned for an earlier Haraguchi film, like that was like 6 years before, and then they just kept it. And so hopefully they kept it. I mean, I'd love to see like Nikkatsu was like first off, Nikkatsu's been around for over 110 years, the film company, but it's gone through it was a porn company for a while, right? And then it did like the Tokyo Shock, like all the low budget stuff, and sell it to Tsuburaya. I want to see Busca against Death Kappa. I mean, like, come on now.
That'd be cool.
But like, I also think one thing that people, when they watch it, that makes it more fun is like every now and then it'll catch you off guard with like a really cool shot, or like you said, like the breath and even the weird explosion. Like, it's like, that's kind of cinematically cool. One shot that I absolutely loved, because it's a total homage to Metron and Ultra 7 and their like that famous scene, and like a lot of these great pullback and these battle scenes. I loved this image right here, where they pull back, you have the cityscape, and then you have Hangylos against Death Kappa. I thought that was a really, really, really cool scene in it. That I didn't get any scene like that in Reigo and Raiga, Kigoga, and all that stuff. I didn't get it, and that was cool.
Yeah, no, I agree, dude. This is definitely a movie that I think people should watch. But you're right about like knowing that it's a parody before you go in is probably
please.
It's important. It's important. Knowing that it's on purpose, like it's a mess on purpose, is the deal, so.
Yeah, and like I said, and I think I don't think there's a parody out there, that hits on every joke. So I think it does a pretty good job of that. And the other thing, I think, like you and I both agreed, like even if the movie was bad, the design is so cool. So you got to go out and you got to buy yourself some toys. So
he's on my list.
Some of the best. They have some of the best toys. Sicaluna Kubo, Sicaluna put these guys out. There's a handful of colorways.
Yeah,
I have a glow in the dark one. There are just a ton, but I absolutely love that toy, and it adds to it because it's like kind of like Gila. Like, the design is so cool. The movie is almost secondary.
Yeah, you're right. And I've had that Death Kappa figure on my list for so long. I'm gonna have to pick him up. Did they make the other guy?
No,
did anybody
that's
make?
The big. So if you guys watched the first part of my pair of parodies, where Ryan and I were talking about Monster Seafood Wars, we talked about how Jumbo Cook, who is the greatest mech kaiju of all time, from that film, doesn't have any toys. Like how I need a Safubi jumbo cook. The only one I would say that rivals it on like this guy needs a toy more than anybody, but then of course Mama Gone, but is freaking Hangylos. Hangylos would be awesome.
Yeah,
it would be so good. Like
with detachable tail.
With detachable tail, you got it. And then like as the premium, the exclusive, you get like a little 3 of the little Umahiko fishmen that merge into him. Yeah,
that would be great. That would be great.
It would be honestly. I don't know if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said, "Oh, Hangylos," but Jumbo Cook, man, Jumbo Cook was freaking awesome. It was pretty awesome in Monster Seafood Wars. I mean, he was pretty crazy.
I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to watch.
You have to. So I would rank them like I think Monster Seafood Wars is definitely a step down from Death Kappa, but it's still fun. And it's still a goofy watch, and there's still a lot of the jokes and parody elements work. It's not as good as Death Kappa, but like it is way better than like the Rego trilogy. Right. Way better. And it is stupid, but Jumbo Cook is like literally I love that design so much it's not even funny.
Okay. I'm gonna check it out, Jay.
Yeah.
Dude, I think we can recommend Death Kappa. I'm not sure if you got anything else specific you need to say on the movie.
No, but just don't be sad that they don't eat any anuses in it because it's not accurate to the folklore.
I wonder if there are any. This is some research I'll have to do on my own, but I wonder if there are any like horror Kappa films out there, like Japanese like horror movies.
Oh, I'm sure.
Kappa. I'm gonna have to.
Well, you got the Kappa. There's a Japanese Kappa one that you got to watch. But that seems like it's probably more.
It is a cute. Younger. That's like That's like a little kid, cute type deal. Which I haven't watched it yet, but I did watch the trailer for it, and that's a different thing. I want to see some killer Kappa.
Okay, I think you can make it happen, man.
Killer Kappa. Chowing down on some anuses. Somebody's done it.
Looking up kimonos. And doing some sumo wrestling and
taking a break to eat a cucumber.
And killing cows. Yeah.
Jay, you got anything else for this week, or are we getting out?
I'm just so happy about these. I'm just so happy,
dude. Those are the best.
Best darn Gengo.
Yeah, dude. Kaiju-Go. Got to be there. Well, I think we'll see you guys next week. We'll talk about Ultraman next episode. Talk about Ultraman. Gonna check it out, and then we'll figure something else out.
Yeah, no more parodies for a little bit. I need a break.
We'll take one episode off of parodies, and then we'll see what's after that. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.